Thanks a lot for coming in.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Something about this community appeals to you?
This is a wonderful place to live.
For Kelowna Now, this is Camp Mulgat. And we're joined by Lori Hazel and Terry Lynn Hemmerling, and you have founded a company called Wild Women. That sounds pretty racy.
We know. It's not.
Well, what's it about, Lori?
So WILD stands for Women Inspired to Live Life Deliberately. And so that's what it's about. It's about inspiring women to make choices to do just that, to try to live their life a little more deliberately by making some small changes or bigger changes that maybe come up for them, things that maybe are getting in their way, things that maybe are not serving them in a way that they think they know that they can let go of.
So, Terry Lynn, if a person isn't living life deliberately, how are they living? What's the antithesis to this?
They might be feeling stuck, or they might be recovering from something, perhaps divorce or some sort of grief or loss, a career change. Maybe the kids are leaving home, or, it can be all kinds of things. Overwhelm is a big one that I can relate to, perhaps a feeling of the to-do list running you rather than you running your to-do list, and a sense of, wow, is this how it was meant to be? Is this
right.
the life I wanted when I was a kid? Kind of that idea.
So what's coming to mind for me is that you build your life, and then there's all of these pressures and commitments, and you've got a calendar, and you're kind of just bouncing around through your life, and you're not stopping to say, hey, is this what I want to be doing right in this moment?
Exactly. Like at the end of it all, will this, will I have gotten to the things that really did matter to me? Mm-hmm. And so, and how do we figure that out with the demands and the distractions and all that's going on? And it's a frantic pace of life. Like, this life is really big, and I can only speak from my own experience, but there's a lot of hats. There's mom, and there's the job, and there might be partnership, there might be you come home, you do a second job after you get home from your 9 to 5. That's a lot, right? So how to sift through all of that and find that connection back to ourselves, back to each other, because together, when you gather a group of women together, it can be pretty powerful. Mm-hmm. Like
right.
The support and the fun and just the clarity that can happen.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Lori, you get together, and
Yep.
I kind of understand the point you're trying to make, but if people are going to return to their lives, and all of those same pressures and schedules and whatnot are still going to be in the way. So First of all, what do you do when you get together to at least set people on a path where they can be more deliberate?
Well, so first of all, what we do is we have these seasonal practices. And so what we have put together is a workshop or a gathering. We call it a gathering. And we get together, and in our little group, we talk about some practices that we can use in our life that are going to help us live a little bit more deliberately. We get clear. We get clear on what our intentions are, and how do we want to be living, and where are we not? Where are we not living in alignment with what feels good for us? And once we kind of have that, then we can start to make some of those little changes. And so when we get together, we do a little bit of yoga, we do a little bit of meditation, we do some intention setting. We get together as a group of women, which, as Terry Lynn said, is always super powerful. We kind of sift through, what's going on in our life that maybe that we don't have to stop, but maybe there are some things in our life that really just aren't serving us anymore, and how can we kind of let go of some of those things, and then maybe that, like Terry Lynn said, the to-do list is always going to be there. The stuff is going to come at us all the time, but maybe we're just rearranging, maybe we're reprioritizing kind of what we want to bring to the top. How do we actually want to be doing this thing, this life, right? We have one.
Okay, so it would be so easy to get together and talk about all these good intentions and then go back to our life, like I said, and and it all just kind of gets lost. But so Terry Lee, I understand you follow up with people, and that's part of it.
Yeah, I think we've all experienced where you go away to a retreat and you have these great intentions at the retreat because you're away from all of the demands and the distractions and the to-do list. So to go home, we created a journal that you take home, and there's 40 days of prompts, and they're related to the season. So for example, the fall season and how to connect both with yourself and perhaps nature or whatever that's going to mean for you. And each morning around 6 a.m., either Lori or myself, in your inbox, in your email, you get a little motivation, a little piece of writing or something that we hope keeps the fire burning for those 40 days and inspires you to keep going with whatever that intention was that you decided was really important at the gathering. And so you're writing, you're getting these email inspirations in your inbox, and so we're still together as a group, but we're doing our work individually. And then we come together at the end of 40 days. I mean, just all these excuses to get back together.
Right.
It's the community's amazing.
Well, and that's the other thing about this, right?
Yeah.
Is that, you'll have, I'm sure, varying degrees of success in terms of how deliberate you can make your lives. But
Absolutely.
But nothing is lost by getting together with a bunch of like-minded people and building friendships.
Never. The connection, no, and that's exactly what we're trying to do, is to kind of build that connection and build that community. And, that's how we started all of this. I mean, that's how we connected, is because we are like-minded women and we were doing this work already on ourselves, right? Making our own changes and deciding what wasn't working in our own lives led us to connecting a little more within ourselves, and then led us to yoga, to meditation,
and to a group of really great
amazing women. This community of women where we are encouraged and loved and nurtured, and so that's what we're trying to build. That's where Wild came from. It came from what we've experienced, maybe what we thought we were missing, what we could have used at some of those times. And so that's what we're trying to create, is a place where we're inspiring women, empowering women to maybe make some of these changes.
So if people just hear about it and then, kind of go to one of your events, what's their reaction? I mean, do you find that do you sense a real need in a lot of women?
Yeah.
For this?
There is. There's a sense of, despite being such a connected culture that we live in, there's a sense of isolation and sometimes loneliness that can happen as we're running from one thing to the next and there's just, we have just benefited so deeply from the women who have surrounded us, and not with an agenda to fix anything or to do anything or add anything, any program or whatnot, but really to just be seen, to be heard, to be accepted, to be encouraged, and really we just inspire each other to, live the best life we can, right?
Live better.
We're not seeing a downside to this.
There are no...
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there are no downsides. How can there be a downside when you're taking, what's the Mary Oliver quote that I love so much?
Tell me.
Tell me what it is that you plan to do with this one wild, precious life that you have. We have one life. And so if you're going to do anything to make your life a little better, live it more deliberately, and we were talking earlier about our kids. We're busy. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in our lives, but sometimes it's just that prioritizing and just sifting through what is actually important and putting that at the top. We don't need to always, my kitchen is often full of dishes. My floor sometimes isn't vacuumed, but I really love my life. I really love what I'm doing.
Yeah, sounds great. So we're probably blowing by the 10-minute mark on this interview, but you have a retreat coming up.
September 28th. September 28th is our next gathering, and our gatherings take place at No Harm Farm, which is right just outside of Kelowna here. It's
North Glenmore.
Yep,
Right.
It's absolutely beautiful.
And if any women are interested, how do they get in touch?
They go to womeninspired.ca, www.womeninspired.ca. We can also be found at Wild Community on Instagram. Wild has 2 L's, so
All right.
WILLD Community, at Wild Community
Awesome.
on Instagram.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming in and
Thank you.
telling us all about it.
Thank you so much
And
for
thank
having
you.
us.
And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.